Well, good evening and welcome to another edition of your streaming. I think it's a network in the and I'm try say oh baby na network no some style but like I said no we will definitely come back. So now we are back. I think say now it's a bit stable. And say wherever you are watching. Welcome to baby or share free piano. Just send a message card, seize the opportunity, share the link. Say baya will be so a bit to me. A following na wahu the ekoso. Sorry sir, I delay, but we are here. Yes. And see, those of you watching us on YouTube and those of you watching us on Facebook, I think say when you feed na sound no any way be or no. So far I have 15 people online on Facebook, and those of you watching us on YouTube as well, no. I think say move to me I follow discussion on that what is happening. Never be brain koso. And I think that this is a perfect opportunity for us to just look at some of the critical issues that underpin our collective welfare as young people in the country over the years. You know, your role in politics, your role in governance, you know, the city and policies and programs of government and ankasa so no and prioritizing the needs and the offense and the genius of creativity our young people know a what to offer. So ama sabi nearma no ye see one time, and the way forward now abaye a bit questionable, and I'm sure say yetimi ehu what is happening na ye nhihye na politics no we be say ye hwe na ye hwe ni ya. We are in a very good position to say yebehu the yankasa yepe, then we know where we are going, because the bia meka say until say yebehu baby ye free ba no, we will never know where we are going. Enti sanity and that issues are yeba kan ho asem no wa we the see our parliament last week. The majority leadership, the sort of controversy a create a man for a minority, the majority leader Oseche Mensah resign from the position. A fenyo mark and the deputy beteki over the controversy create and we saw similar thing happening in the NDC quite recently. And some of these things in a pop up at the democracy. I think that we've come far. Since 1992, officially, yes, transiting from military junta, the bar, democratic rule, 30 years has been a hell of a journey. And I think that there are certain things, and this a manicritic incident, but on 2 occasions, some of these things I see a manicritic incident that sometimes, it put to a certain dent on our democracy. And I think that it's one of the issues, and you may way, you better not, you can't and another important way a dominating public discussion the Japan deal. Mineral Income Investment Fund CEO appear before the Public Accounts Committee. I look at to just say a Japan deal na and go through no or minor a bulk 100 a minor bulk $12 million. So the question will be a beside want to say what exactly NSC and I said dear Ben and yeah sabi Emma this huge sum of money no a buy and so and say in seven no say ya quite ben ya fast or you two and among sebaya a lessons for others our monso sabi on besua nyansa e de free because ye hano corruption no the entire gusua AC and you see nothing happening because of the unwillingness, the sheer reluctance, the inertia on the part of the leadership, and I said the political class, to act na yenye bibi mfa ho sebe ya ebe serve as a lesson to other people no in our situation is here a see. And I think that we need to reflect at this point na you realize say politics, governance, leadership is not that kind of saying paramountcy where I am for no dinner sabi obaka chro say na na bi na call kon na owuye na ye dinner besi so enti the time now oteso they are not accountable to anybody. Decisions are pending as a forum in a democracy. If you're a leader, you are accountable to the people. Because any panel to me amongst the best. So at any point in time, you need to be accountable to the people. Sebe ya nipano ebehu jumadi na yede share wonsano emfasoa ewoso. But in our part of the world, Africa hano, leadership, governance, politics, no, and rather no, it put everybody in servitude. It put everything or be a slave. Apart from the very few ya Claudio with the political power. So I know the day no, are more acting as lords, as kings, as queens, as superhuman beings. They are not accountable to anybody, and they are not amenable to wisdom and alternative ideas a man forward to offer. It is a quack you see, say, na ye Sambreno, and you see us speeding up, taking a foolish ride into a ditch. Always and always, you know, that has been your friends, your faswa, yankasa ya de say. So corruption and many instances of financial malfeasances and misappropriation of state funds and other activities, irregularities are yehu bebrebe. Because I want to say a dear ben and a ye to me a ye fahon. The nyansa ben and a yesu free. That is the problem. That is the difference between us and yenu more outside. Komakasa corruption is something you cannot stop it. But you can do something to make it a high risk venture. I be my man for a feeling intimidated. People will be scared to go into. But say ya mananya high risk venture. Now there are no punitive sanctions. There are no consequences. There are no conventional deterrents. Be a sabi ya establishing and no edi ohu no suro beshe nipa mua. We can't get anywhere. And on Friday, I was on a Ahoto FM, and I may catch all say, if you go to the United States of America and there, New York Attorney General, Letitia, Atam Donald Trump, our former president of the United States of America, Nene Trump Corporation in United Akupie Assemdibia. Former president though, all wealthy, enormous power. Because American president, is the leader of the free world. Power or wealth, no. Menya so omampanyini bi wasase we so and to me eduru to me we American president ekura wonsam. Donald Trump got na nchen no, the Attorney General of your friend is saying New York State atam no e de ne court to say the business na all running no. Why a lot of fraudulent activities, and for that particular matter, no, or the Trump court, I am telling you about the Trump, the person, as a CM or say, on only the Republican nomination, I likely say, Obe the flag bearer of the Republican Party going into the 2024 election. He's likely, even though state of Colorado in other way at the Supreme Court to say you're challenging the eligibility to contest on the ticket of the GOP of the Republican Party because of the insurrection only during 2020 elections, you know. And to say Odifwa maybe, but all the signs pointing to the fact to say whatever happens, Biano, Trump will definitely win because now the last elections of he won, and you could see clearly say he's in the pole position. So we are not talking about any ordinary person. We are talking about a former president and somebody with the potential to become president again in the United States of America. Yet in a court, no, a bed say Trump empire, Trump businesses and in the chain of businesses, real estate, and as for company now, Kaboma. He has inflated the net worth by almost $2 to $3 billion. And now, or they agigi loans from banks and then as for because the very moment that banks in who say or net worth of a company, esono, omo beye, omo your friend is saying, omo enya certain trust and confidence. Okay, sika kese na our company unti a money loan crying so we can give you better terms and then as for them. So according to lawsuit, you know, you said Trump should inflating the net wealth by over $2 to $3 billion. Sebeya obenya favor from banks because or say the company no so now your friend is saying your money loans are so or the loans for the period of 10 good years and I had in the court and I know the day the prosecutor Letitia our New York State Attorney General was able to prove beyond every reasonable doubt that indeed Donald Trump inflating asset because they did valuation and we realize say they all cast the net worth in the city no we proper evaluation of Trump asset enuru and at the end of the day no what due bankers and other financial institutions are waje sika afri omhode business and for that matter no court no amane sanctions sanctions I dear Donald Trump did kind of say Trump organization no 8 years over 300 and I think 300 yes over 300 million almost close to because what did they had to and neba Eric and Donald neba ne mami edo so no obia 8 year $4 million because now your friend is directors in the company because Trump be a president over the years they were in charge and they were privy to this fraudulent activity and their so and apart from said Trump that over $300 million at the state of New York na ne mami no obi $4 million no yasia bande no say in the next 3 years Donald Trump me and act as a director of any corporation in New York for the next 3 years. In the next 3 years, Donald Trump cannot hold himself as a director in any company. Not in America, but in New York. Again, for the period of 3 years, there are certain financial institutions that New York ha on to me because we can't throw. That is the ruling, even though I say a political witch hunt and or obey court I could file for appeal but you see I am telling you this just to make a point to say elsewhere, however how powerful you think you are, however how powerful you think you are accountable. Yabema will answer for your crimes. So Ebasa system no seek to create certain fairness and certain way we ma obit in chan kasa so suma si kura na yede ne koya na me ohia ni amete nchan de etomia de na betome so ebe serve as a lesson and you be careful. You will be careful. To see ameno ke say the son of the sitting president of America, Joe Biden, the Hunter Biden, and also see the same criminal indictment. So I possess a drug for gun and whole lot of money transfer from China to his account, which according to amount for crowd, say ne papa cried so it's an ongoing. Quite recently, he made a Senate committee or more investigation as to kwanya sansem nyina efa baaye. It is a what or mind be say mu not the top class, the top notch politicians are subjected to this kind of proper scrutiny by state institutions. At the end of the day, send these signals to everybody. Say, oh my rule of law, Juma. But in our situation, say, Ubo so be you call court to akudia, Samana a dependent baby ujina. People in government are more engaged in this kind of financial malfeasances, corruption, whole lot of stuff. At the end of the day, they don't even get to court. Because states, unwilling you see this sheer reluctance, the unwillingness on the part of the state. Our state, dragging the feet because individuals involved in some of these things, are a part of the establishment, and we feel attached because there is this emotional, your friend is saying sentimental kind of attachment. If you party back home, and a yaba, to mean say and people become emboldened and they do everything with impunity. Is the reason why we are still here. Because a Japan deal na eba bonteno in one accord. Ghana for onipa na dwene mu da ho bia onye opportunity to read through the Ajapa deal no became convinced sa deal no wasn't in the interest of Ghana, and that there was the need for us at least yebeye bibia fa ho se be ya obesie Ghana Ajapa de enkonkodi few people been some. Despite in some ye kan ye nyina no nipa dasani anya na dwen se obetie. Despite all the nsema ye kan ye ni nyina no nipa dasani anya na dwen se sabi obefa nsem no serious, and as a result no ye course ye de ye akopem a point a ene omoboy amane se Ghana alusu $12 million. And Ajapa deal no say ye koma obetana say a lot of sober reflection. No what be a lot of questions, because you see asam no ba ye na echo back and forth no Ghanaians, civil society organizations, and then thank God there are a lot of Ghanaians living abroad who have taken interest in the political discussion, whatever going on in Ghana. And if you go to various social media platforms, whenever we are doing interactions, you see a lot of people. I think all the time I see online, a lot of people, everybody, those living abroad, Sierra and several other people, are very much interested. And some no bad. You don't look at the political lenses from this political fraternity, and for that matter, no some no more can nyansa o mo nyansa no e be boat wagu. Ajapadi no ba ya and chirechire ba ya ma Ghana 40 year no. We saw resistance from Ghanaians, not even just a political party. Aye is one accord. We cannot mortgage our royalties because gold tuna ye to no. Ye share be already ni akoton dada. Enti royalties no mutua yensaka as a state kakra no so no yesi yankwaje bosia 500 to 600 to 700 million na a stake I will move about 59% no yamfa mankrofo ko bi no asabi yenimo na yenko float no baby baby a ko jezi ho na yekoye sa ne ma no transparency ni na sefo kra wonim directors of we in charge of this obi anim obi a na ka say Ghana is not a private property. And for that matter, no, won't me fa or manya japade and conquer see our one fan conquer the open abra Ghana for here. So let us activate a proper conversation. That was the call Anna Ghana for a place on government. But you know what happened? Despite the resistance, then as a phone, no, your time deal with the call parliament. I'm a parliament. I know the minority walked out, but the majority sat on the bill, agreed and approved it. The first question maybe someone say, Parliament majority na yet say you approve that there no. Did they ever consider the interest of Ghana for? Did they ever respect the kind of we are not Ghana for especially now your parliamentarians? Do they really respect the people they represent at all? These are questions. And you see, maybe another way actually said after say Parliament approve Japan deal no, don't forget Parliament approve through the majority. Emma yajetumu I go through way. Then they no cause. People were still talking, people were agitating, the various media people were talking, and then as a forum. Then the president They decide to say obe hold one a bit. Then the special prosecutor, Martina Midu then realizes say, okay, I did we have a bone of contention. I said, be a man for a true margin about it, and I said for them. Men so Jumadi Ametia made corruption risk assessment. Eka home. Men should share near mum who said, I don't know why ye a Ghana interest in one answer any Ghana interest in. So Martin Midu. So the person will get it how well. Parliament, lawyers, mpanimfo, yatwa bamo mono. They didn't consider anything. They approve it to the majority and go through. Then special prosecutor, Martin Amidu as an individual and in the office will pick the same agreement, read through and come out with a lot of irregularities. He came out with a lot of dirty things in the contract, in the agreement. So ask yourself, say, consideration by the majority, yet so any approval bill, no? They didn't see what Matiabi do later because check the timing. Parliament approve ye and Sana Matiabi because I offer Matiabi report now or Kanya or say Abra Parliament approve ye still na Kasano Kosono and the man kofa when is or ye corruption risk assessment. It's in a Parliament I na so that tells you the poor and the dirty job they did. Because those dirty revelations they did not see. Because majority decided say your party in the diaba and for that matter no yeah approve gidi nobody sat down, scrutinized and analyzed anything because it is coming from our party, let's approve it, and they approve it against the Nsamana Ghana for worker. Then Martin Amidu office the same document now no be review. Then he comes out to tell us that any Ghana interest at heart. Kwanya your fast agreement and you put two together and then send me woman and you're fraudulent. And for that matter, the state cannot go ahead with the Japa deal. But Parliament say you go ahead. But Martin Amidu came out. It's over here or then a human come on when penny say papa hey a human what the year mamma no my we enti me da to desk so President Bomodin Bu na nugusu asif say sabi onyam hu ye he decided to sit on it. Then Martin Amidu realized the economy despite the wo hu nyina no okasa otanase a ya beshada ama ade na go through because assessment no ye no enyama abonte na public na information. Then he decided to leak his work to the media. And I might be whom sabi and sama na ewo ajapadi no. Again, Martin Amidu insisted say and she be or more ye bia say ye kwa leste ajapadi no na say for ewo your friends saying stock market na say for ni na young hot ni na because adena ankasa is riddled with a whole lot of fraud and we cannot proceed as a country. That was his position. Very explicit. And he was very candid. He didn't mince words. Told us in blank statement, said, don't do this because this thing is not in the interest of this country. So at that point, but now Attorney General now President Akufo-Addo appointing I am Madam Gloria Akufo. Or no answer, yeah, the same because Attorney General, whenever we are going into such an agreement to know what the way, yeah, Ubenya buying your friends, Attorney General, also a bit review, no, so then the way about. And some more can ye, say a Japan deal, no, we can go ahead with it because in 7 near my womb, no, and several Ghana interest. It's back and forth. Then the president told us, okay, I suspend it. So we thought saying in Akwakoda. Not knowing, say, some more dear Adina Kwakoda to them a young kodai. They have to get money from this thing. Because Adia Yeguswa yeah. With the tacit agreement from the state parliament and as how do you tell people say you have engaged consultants and then as a former what you are moka? And your private organization like as a board of Kotanase, your mind seeker, and whenever you are spending such huge sum of money, no parliament must be in the know. or want to maintain our office and confer mine $12 million immediately amount for when the deal itself, President Kwanya sent it to it. Enti the man they win in our bad on Tennessee. And yet we are Public Accounts Committee. Auditor General year na Juma year 2022 now the command Parliament to go through no. Then the document was handed over to Public Accounts Committee. Individuals are more free or more engaging in financial malfeasance and misappropriation of funds and then as a form questionable financial transactions need deals across biano and other activities biano. The individuals must be brought on board. Some young betting a church and say Mama Ghana for Aswante. So that is what happened. I am Mineral Income Investment CEO didn't close for Yadi Baho. Kasa man be PSA. Question related to a Japan deal. And ye be so almost a Japan deal no. Send a city omoko bi omo no almost spending $12 million. And the Nippon Mote Committee now no your parliamentarians they were living shocked. How much more men people no more parliamentarians and ankasa no because they thought so that's how they were they cancel here. But they heard for the first time say you spent $12 million in the Japan deal. So the question is how and how. Papa no got answer na nka this particular mineral way do fall right under his purview do could not explain because onim ho hwe ya said cancellation whatever oni nyina no happened at the office of the president. Nobody communicated anything to him. So anything about the Japan transaction he could not answer. That was why the committee told him say uncle back nomra. Not documents are related to that pre-incorporation expenses and I have $12 million. There won't be no Ghana for me. They will tell you say Omo or Ghana, Omo or UK. They engage consultants, Omo engage lawyers and then as a forum for what? For what? Because you do all these things after one realizes deal no feasible say go through. But the very moment because the most important thing let's say ever go through those blocks of approval na wenya and subsequently if you are spending any money biana say approval no wenya dada and cost biana will not be willfully causing financial loss to the state because when you agreement to the point a president be signing as a for now you can say and stock market. It means one case one make you that. But the point is, how then did we spend such huge sums of money? And again, consultants in as if I engage you what are some of the processes they go through? Was it hand picking individuals? Yeah, that's sorry. We pick this consultant, we pick this consultant. I'm sure say in the coming days, individuals you picky almost someone consultants and as if their names will come out and you baby will feel more back. And you see, all these things are possible because nobody is ready to punish anybody. Nobody is ready to make anybody answer for any crime. So, Nema when see right under our watch. Your sitting vice president is part of this thing. Hoping so at least corruption now, certain measures be a bear, yet be good at him. Kasana Nama or Kasana, what's our kind about anti-corruption in Honda? Absolutely nothing. And our mind lose. At the end of the day, there is no single person to be questioned. And I say all answer for anything. And you boom side scandals upon scandals upon scandals. So now Obia fan wedi. Obia punish Obia. Sorry, just give me a minute. Yeah, sorry. And this nobody is punishing anybody. So at the end of the day, the kind of strong message that we need to send to people to realize, Chale, or mine, enya for us or be a bit me, or my culture as a way state that there are two things you cannot do. Show weakness and you show mercy. you cannot show weakness and you cannot show mercy. Because the very moment a state begins to show weakness, that state is done. So what your mind, not what we say on mind, the people in the country I show mercy, I show weakness, but the state cannot. The state must be seen as a strong-willed entity that is willing to pounce on anybody that try to take advantage of the state. That is why places like China and other places, you will never see anybody say Sabi or for my sick and answer or baby, because usro. But in that situation, there is enough motivation, there is enough incentive for people to be corrupt, because the man in charge in Ankasa has proven to be so much corrupt to the extent that he doesn't care whether his appointees are doing right or not. He doesn't care. And you know, Yuguswa na sabi obiya ya de opesa fa ne hudi. At the end of the day, no, nobody is accountable. So and Ghana by a crime scene, corruption about the order of the day. Obiya ya de opebia fa ne hudi. And that is the problem yet ewo kroma say. Because I walk kwanya sa nema we efa so sisi na. So who trace history now, they are almost the same. The resemblance are so striking. The resemblance are so striking, say they are the same trajectory. And I am so sad because Nenra na me catch our PDS deal. Kwanya fast one needs to go through. It's the same thing. Because Obama can say or through the Africa Power Initiative or the Sikeba. And the market $498 million for ye. Now we should include private sector, our power, your energy sector, and say bet me as still for certain competition. Now see it me engage private sector now. Sika $498 million, no, $190 million. The be so we need to engage the private sector. I'm say ya na gigi omo kasa ko form a private sector. Omo ko form a private sector. Gidi as a reps of a Philippine company I kroma PDS. All the obabo ntia ye kwan ye fa so ye shares ye ko ho baba ne president of Fase ne as for TV. Omo kasa na form the local arm of that Philippine company kroma sabe ya mbeje sikana afadi. Afa nyansa kwan so dwiri Google and corruption no kwa abusianfo na the same people, the same family musketeers na you see them behind these shitty scandals and corruption, no, the same people. But the very people now when engineer the Japan deal, no, the same people were behind the PDS deal. And no more constitute the local private sector now. Yes, young Congo room no, and scandal na pop up on the Yamana Metana catchrow. We a company now will bid for something. Conditions precedent are you need to present there are certain criteria, requirements that you need to meet. And sana ye peja ye juma dine dia shawonsano. They ended up changing those conditions precedent to conditions subsequent. Yeah, the show and say we are and sana why is idea no. Our vice president was part of it because he was the person that only did that particular way. Emma that brought that laxity in the your friends legal framework. And your friend saying regulated that particular thing. Conditions precedent were changed to consider your friends saying conditions subsequent. So the scrutiny that they were supposed to go through, no, they didn't go through. So they got it easy. At the end of the day, they had access to your friends at electricity company of Ghana, LJ, a month for away. And also Ghana for boom. We had no other option than to cancel because deal now fraudulent. And so how many fraudulent deals are we going to have? How many fraudulent deals are we going to under the same president? And I'm saying cancel that deal no pay. And America buying the embassy here wrote say no. Say you can private sector participation. Say my cancel there $190 million, you know. we are sorry, we can't give it to you. Say Siamano say you lose $190 million. And by the media, not to say no be come once. One farmer also the rest of the money will be dispersed. But because of this, because what can private sector engagement, why do I want to corrupt activity in our councillor? Sikano, young farmer will be until date, young son can say Sikano. And the consider bank. And a sign your will be a coso. A cosoa. Obia ni hwa sabi ye Canada check. Na obia fa no hodi. To the point that Mami we sanitation minister yi Albertina Krom hai. Circumstances Mami wetimi dinya $1 million and over other currencies in asefo gogu ne dem. Be sin there. Onam hafa no hodi account kwa na freeze pet then the court will say mumbie man nkofa ne sika. At the end of the day, the special prosecutor now was taking upon himself. Said, "Obey bibi kura no." He became frustrated and he decided, "Okay, say kura de nyama djuma bi mon farmer yoko." He did all that because of frustration and they subject me to. Because states, the gatekeepers nankasa are not willing to avail those individuals, for possible your friends say criminal, your friends say inquisition and say criminal investigation. Yeah. So they will do everything to rather frustrate state institutions and fight corruption. And then we also saw what they did to Martin Amidu. Martin Amidu is a strong-willed person. Oh, you can't bulldozer him or another way to be fan so. Cause even on one kasa the party, NDC party, crowd power, we saw the kind of your friend is saying wrangling on the NDC as a political party, engaging, yeah. So Akufo-Addo thought to say he was a better person. The Okakofano now are exploiting the anger and the bitterness, against people in the previous government by manipulating him, by telling him what to do. But go through who Sabian some koso. These deals na koso near president na busian for and now for and what fasia no way no. Otena said no, Charlie. You can't manipulate me. I will do what I'm supposed to do. I know that he left. We have AG, the Auditor General, and also another strong-willed person who was willing to set charge government officials, because we are president and when you have these strong people are more able to say wow, I'm more fighting corruption because you campaign on anti-corruption mantra, medbam announce principle, media announce way. And that's when you people like Domlivo, then as a form now, or more pedewa. You should be happy. You should be happy. But they decided to devise a scheme to get all of them out. Announce principle, I shall protect the public, announce whatever. The gentleman has been threatened, he has been demonized, he has been bastardized, he has been insulted, he has been called names. Just a whole lot of shitty things has been said about Anas. But this is the man who told us the Anas principle. And the corruption number like a bazaar. East European market. Chrono and a yebonu. And a dear find deterrence, Yemfa been to Bia Sebi. Obiti Babia Baka say, oh, Ebia, because of when, Nipa Asian lesson be every dear Cosunum. Enti Mameno a yes, idea we are. Sikan Kokogu ni debuno. Yet the back and forth, sa till date. Or that's only number. It's a foolish case, but how will you explain? Because we see your chroma, and now one of the young ladies, John Mahama, appointed as your friend is saying deputy. I don't know, is it deputy communication something? Lady me refinidin kakra. In a telephone conversation, all catch will be say on a dream is over $1 million. Circumstance and all they can't say no. Just says a dream on castle of Fasika and on castle when you go. The dream. Asem no bad thing. We saw how the Ghanaian media fixated on this particular matter. Eti aban no konso to ensure say you be sacking lady na ma lady na kwakotena fie. Yes, Vicky Hammer. Yes, Victoria Hammer. Enyina yeti kroma. The lady never had access to a dime or the nanon kind of telephone. But in governance, integrity is key. As a leader, in some off and on record, we should make sure that sanity within that particular thing is surely safeguarded. Enti asema okay nyapa bontin ko ade a you will face the consequences. Asem no wan fa ne nsa amfa sika o. But media, the so-called traditional media, will chroma ji asem no to omoboso edi abaya we yatama nadwo awia edi natama kopem say edi abaya natama atwendom mahama boso e wo chroma till say okache lady say on resigning kofie. And then we've gotten to a point where there anyasa ordinano account sika no guni demo wachichire emu adukum wachichase ubisa na onyanyansa semba kokora nkancheose kwan of aso onyansa sika no nie, not even a single one. And you see this anankrofo mo sign di enim ni nipa, they are very fragile in mind, very weak tese omo dwen tese be akoraketo bi asabi yare woni team on tese. Because how can a sitting member of state, a minister of state, also with the $1 million I could go with them, you know very well, see, besides if I know yes, you can prove it. You can't. That's why I say I'm with them. You have the audacity to walk to a police station to complain, say, I'm crying for me $1 million na monchi omo. Oh, what damn. And then we are asking you, Obianka so akobo kodo, yes sika no ba bia wunya no, come and prove it. Taxes a wutua ho, kwan ya be fa so a bank, e be yi $1 million, amount fa ko go them, abra wunya businessman. Taxes a wutua no ho no, legitimate work a we ya wodi nya sa sika no, come and tell us. This is all that we are asking. But state, I adopted this lackadaisical attitude, trying to do everything to shield her because president has already assured her. So Onimse in the end, she will come out clean. And indeed, she is coming out clean. That is how corruption has been institutionalized in this country. And we've seen the many instances, individuals who engage in these shady things, have been protected by the state, have been protected by the president, have been protected by state institutions. Because Attorney General now is just a tomboy tied to the whims and the conveniences of power. He's never interested in anything that will bring a dent to the integrity of the president. He doesn't care whether state is losing or not. A bad opposition then as for their young form. But I say a buying so man for a take you so we are serious and you're really ready to fight corruption. And yet they obey when your own people commit. When your own people commit, how you are able to take them on, pounce on them, and nurture that willingness, and nurture the commitment I will side in the fight against corruption. And it is sufficiently proven beyond every reasonable doubt that our president is never interested. That is why Obaye, various individuals, institutions, corruption. There's also an anti-corruption agent. We are going to help you to ensure, say, we nip corruption in the bud. Individuals and there has been a massive crackdown on state institutions, almost spearheaded this corruption fight. Even to the extent that even individuals within the media, and that is the state. So if you come back to tell us, I shall protect the public person, I say hit in the whole team because we name their worker. Because mine has been stolen. The dignity of Ghana is gone. There is nothing to be proud of as a country. If you are a young person, you're looking up, hoping for something, what is it? Because the veil of hopelessness that is hanging in this country, I can't even find right words to describe it. It's so embarrassing and so shocking. By the way, you're free, say, penny say, I said, will be a way in the name, dear, what the politics are cheap. Atiatiam on the sidelines, becoming president there, I free a certain intellect will come to bear. Sanity will prevail. Corruption will be curtailed to a certain extent. The economy will be stabilized because he brought in Baumia, who claimed to say, on a year economy mu yesu coming to solve all the problems. But here we are today, grappling with unprecedented levels of corruption. And nipa no mo mute to these things ni nyina people within government. So me sure say when you surprise me, surprise. The only thing is that it's shocking because we've gotten to a point where young people doing national service cannot even minimum man for my national service for 4 good months in the impure moka because as a state in Nisika menti big that. Go back to the past. A buy na abetwam kwa say omo de na sefo no hwan na national service adu national service also onye sika mfantua national service common national service we can pay na ya beka nap kofu asem but yet you benya $1 million e de atua law firm na you say omo na ma omo ehwe ajapa deal omo hwe amana go through the deal didn't go through. But I say law firm now, I'm making sure say transaction as for no when it come to legalities, then as for take care of no. Yeah, I'm consultant no. When we have the whole Attorney General Department sitting somewhere, and then a hundred lawyers they go. But we contracted a private firm of lawyers. This same group of people, near young kasa you offer senior number for one idea more. Ya charge state na GSC dada. Enti aba bontin, omo wa de musika di, they basically they don't care. That is the problem. I talk quite recently. People with kidney diseases. Sebi. Among kasa buying fancho mo. They were willing to pay. They were willing to pay. They were willing to pay. Obakohono, renal department, you say, Sika 17, you're shutting it down. Sebi. Being at the health sector for so long, or being at the hospital for so long, I know the kind of trauma among folk go through when they run to hospital with their problems and they are unable to get help. You don't know because that time, you are in your lowest form. You are in your lowest form. Until the kidney is not functioning. All the dirty thing that is supposed to be excreted through urine, because the kidneys is not functioning, those toxic materials are accumulated within the body. So everything the toxic levels, you have no other option, you will die. You can't do anything about it. Because always and always things must flow out of the body. Mediums, a bit coming through the mouth, a bit coming through the skin, and a bit coming through urine, a bit coming through feces, and that's for because they are metabolic waste, they need to exit the body, they can't stay. So we are government, and you know how emergency situation like this, Etienne, places like the renal department, you say dialysis and that's for human and that's for no. That should be the first priority. God, obi obako ha ebe turn the down obi no probability say nipa no be wu no just 90%. Obi a obako say okoye dialysis na ye be deny no the chances say nipa no be wu no because toxic level no akwa a certain way they need to exit the body. But abanya kokoduro ka kire say sika ni ho enti they shut down that particular place. Ama Ghana food to say nkoko but ye sika $12 million edit ya ajapadi ayeye na behind the scenes. And same way na ye kan e pesa wote ase na hu say nipa na woto abama mo ne nipa bone for mo nwini nipa ho. They are wicked souls, very callous people. Callous people. Omo nwini nipa ho. And that is why we are here today. Excuse me a minute. Sorry, I'm set network and I need to work on it a bit. So the seminar here can the magnitude no say here. So sometimes we need to understand it. Drop the political emotions, drop the sentimental attachment and affinity and those kind of your friend is saying fealty kind of way now. No politics sorry, governance sorry, leadership sorry. Now why invest in emotions? You need to invest wisdom. Look at it. At any point in time, comparative your friend saying analysis are very, 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 very key. You should be able to review, analyze at any point in time. Say, how well is it serving my interest? Is it really for me or is for few people? Because we cannot use politics, governance, leadership, voting as an avenue to find job, to secure permanent job for people to go and rob us, our future. When decisions that has to be taken to ensure, say, your welfare will be taken care of, those things will be nil. And Ghana na politician bit be nya kokoduru akwa jina political platforms so aka kire say me be see hostels amaka yaye who bodam who be see hostels amaka yaye kayaye yen. It's a byproduct of a desperate unemployment situation we have at hand, where young people with immense potentials they move from the north because people from the north have many opportunity to come here, be politics, and instead of us to ensure that we go back to invest in our people, go back and make sure that the factories in the young people will not come and turn themselves into slaves. We forget about that. We enjoy here, we forget about them. Open vast lands, then as if we Ghana have a the north. So why can't we make it a priority to make sure the factories and the farming and as if form activities are ever my young people I want north, and so at least on their future. Now the mode debia no mbesum nipa. Debia no be slaves. No, these are people with great potentials. They cannot be kayaye. Young lady in her 20s, in her 15s, in her 30s. Also ana panya so no akraketwa panya so no huna na woyam obukra na akra sanhye nachi adem bo ne be no maye. And we want to create hostels for them so they should kaya ye sa kopinzo mbewu. We are not thinking about how at least they better make life less cumbersome for these poor little people who can live in dignity in their own land, who can live in peace. No je 1,000 Ghana, that is not politics, that is not leadership. That is not leadership. Because my culture said the youth do not need pity. They don't need help. They don't need assistance from anybody. What they need is empowerment. Nobody needs your help. Nobody needs your pity. Nobody needs your assistance. What they need is empowerment. That is what they need. Empower them. And how do you do that? Make sure, say, there's a way that is what they need. That is what the young people need. That is what we need to provide. So you cannot tell me, say, oh, Babesi hostels, I'm for enough. Young people, some very beautiful young ladies. You see, that these people have future because their counterpart, their colleagues somewhere are schooling in some of the best universities around the world. Some of their colleagues are working in offices. Some are even more beautiful than these people. Only difference in the opportunity. Politicians will fly all the way down here, come and make money, then as a forum, even to go there and invest over here. The people will find comfort. They will not. They will not. Now we have the audacity to come and say, maybe see kayaye hostels. They are back. Your friend is saying, "I'm for no mobile one betinum." I am your bottom. We see, and all these things are possible because nipa na ye gina platforms. Ye nim nyansa. Ye voters. Ye nim nyansa. So because politicians kasa chire nyansa for on to me not the audacity to tell you say maybe see hostel amakayaye. Really? Every sensible person will walk away because that is an insult. How dare you? Hostel for who? Kayaye. Why can't we solve the Kaya problem? Can't we solve the Kaya problem? We are talking about a Maya. Sikana Buya, we have a lot of money, we have a lot of cash. You're wasting on fancy fixtures. Why Rxtended not president and them him or Biara Koba? He never paid heed to anybody. He was just gallivanting and roaming around aimlessly in a private jet. At a cost of taxpayer and the bear. Kaya yena. What number we are winuma, what number we are no, ne tax. The Yakwaje, or here near Korana, Krasher at your number we am so pine. Our tongue we know. Sa here near Korano. Now, somebody for what to take it a man, ya Genesika, we are the president of Fasasicano from that poor lady, and I go hang jet and the moo, a genany, now Kayako campus as a much as and president be Jari womb, more bottom. Bottom. Obey Jari. So nobody is willing to confront the unemployment situation in the north. Nobody is willing to do anything about it because people have concluded in their minds, oh, they don't deserve any. So these people have become political commodities. They are tools. And you see, young people, that is how most of the politicians see us. They see us as mere tools. You can be used. They will use you when they need you. So we are disposable at any point in time. That is why we need to realize this and add value to ourselves. And realize that we are nobody's political tool. You cannot use me. But elsewhere, they empower people. I don't know, people will make sure say you be pejawa mwa kosura masebi. Also what be dimu na nipa ni jire be no ordinary say point say na me so me na me bo away. But in our situation it's not like that. If you're a slave today, the system is designed to sustain that slavery forever. I know people since 92, they call themselves food soldiers. And I say, yeah, food soldiers are 2024. Political party, not even a pin crow free. Pin crow politics, me say, it must serve your interest at any point in time. It must serve your interest. So you cannot tell people, say, and I may be see hostels and makayaye. Who be see hostels and makayaye, oh, bodam. Kayaye, no, the hostel, yadang. Or the hostel, yadang. Make jobs available. North, look at the land, said that. A dear Ben, I'll pass away your high ye. $12 million, a Japan deal, a cop, PDS, $190 million US government, and farmer, all these huge sums of money, let's make it a priority within 4 years. Yeah, call North for her. Yes, you're making aggressive policies. We are going to turn the North into an industrial hub of Ghana. You combine farming with factories, make sure that the young people stay. And at the end of the day, life will be better. Most of our politicians are aware, they are privy to this, going and coming up, and that they see the suffering these poor people are going through no fault of theirs. But so see, when we are big because others are poor, and my leader, they understand for so years old. Leader and so that car CM now ko bad now man for budget so na impact ben what making our nipa life impact ben how many people what we make you make me feel proud say because of me this how many people? Because leadership is about empowerment. My catcher man for say so what do you say having enough money, having cars, and then as for na am we leader oh bottom because leadership man in it that governance and for how to see her. That is why always when I'm making analysis, I make reference to Kwame Nkrumah said. Kwame Nkrumah bagan and even the plane ticket to Kurano, obi the trade na buy per grant and also a man for some money. So common plane ticket to Kurano because at that time the guy was desperate. We're 3 US about UK, I call law school. I can't over try exams are passing. What trouble I one pass, what trouble you one pass. So the guy was desperate. who the unfind a life in that particular time. Then somebody realized, guy now our UK now go to try the law exams, no. Mahu certain way be on one, then they brought him from, so the plane ticket was even paid for by somebody here. He wasn't a rich man. Oba started with organizations, and then I say for them engaging people. Then I say for you see the lazy and I didn't these people coming out Oba also president there and I you see they have no plan. I'm not going to say system na say keke to be about so president because wanting to be a president must be something deliberate. You need to plan and execute it. Because if you come to Ghana the NDC MPP are established political institutions. You can't just do away with the NDC MPP. So we will be away serious. Now, president there, you must also be serious. You must be deliberate about it. Plan, build that particular foundation and solid upon which you can take political power. Now, by election year, contest election, I mean, contest you see, that is the joke in some of these things sometimes, and I'll have time to delve into those things. So when Nkrumah came, he took time to do proper organization, engaging even some of the areas now UGCC for not say Uncle Krano. He went there because Trans-Togoland then part of the north and then way he went there because not or not being said or Ghana be Kabum. And those parts in the north, so he went beyond his remit. UGCC for another man, trying to engage people because he had a master plan. So it must be deliberate. You need to plan. It should be a conscious way. And that's how the OTBC Ghana for say when this in MPP OTC say maybe president Eddie. When you're serious, and you end up being like, you see, sometimes we need to be very serious. We need to be very deliberate if we really have plans. Now you perceive the other man who say unless it's just at your friend saying you're just shopping for attention, and I say some kind of entrepreneurship becoming a bit more just so what say presidential candidate and then a bit de because to me, if you really want to contest that, you will start from somewhere, prepare adequately, build yourself, organize people. So that you know that these are the class of people I'm going with. I'll be also sorry be a new way to the back of our president and necessarily the president. So policies and initiatives in it must be deliberate. It targeted the youth. Youth sabi nim dia youth no enko waste. Africa, a lot of people are going waste with their talent, and then as for especially people from the north, make us young ladies. Me just me who be na me yem kra na just say me wura kra ho. Who be a timu behind the tiredness, brena wa brene ahochra na all commune nyina, behind it you see certain beauty within them. Obi wa be hune no ho ya fe papa but the orientino on the wiema suwentino. That beauty is even hidden. And you're the fault because all your kaya ye politicians will be see hostel and non kaya ye copies will be. And we are comfortable with this because of ignorance. And the media that is supposed to engage, the media that is supposed to enlighten, the media that is supposed to inform, the media that is supposed to provide alternative. Sabi amanfo benya point to reason around, they themselves, they are in business with the same people. Misinforming and disinforming. So at the end of the day, nobody is breaking free. Caught up in the same ditch. And see, noise na yes penny, because to certain individuals, political party, political organization, it's just contriving with few people, capture political power, make yourself and your allies feel good, go away, another person will come, contrive, make your people feel good. So you're changing nobody's better. The actual people who are supposed to benefit, don't benefit. That I am telling you today. So the destiny of me and Kasame, we can change this nasty political defense Nemana air cosono. Because say you put value and premium on your vote. You're making sure say you're very sensible and reasonable enough. We will not be voting for people based on emotions. We will not be voting for people based on sentimental, your friends saying, and attachment in the emotional way. Now we are basing on fact, analyzing the basic things. That is why now I make a choice. Say Ghana for Sabi, ye nyansa for. Na se nipa hu ye say ye nyansa for. The last person to post himself upset or president Eddie ayeba umia. Because if you look at the mess, all over, and this guy will have the audacity to come and tell you so to Abamana. It means he thinks we are very weak. Because at the end of the day, who is going to sit down to do any proper analysis? That kind of silly rationalization, you know. And one and that is it. So people, I think that there are a lot that we can do. Information is very powerful. You're making sure say to aba ama abatwa na to no abe invest e wo yemu. To aba ama abatwa na abe invest in our future. Abatwa no to no to aba ma dipa Seven betimi take charge of this country. We are driving towards prosperity. Not for us alone, but even for the unborn ones, for the generation yet to come. You're fortunate and I am so far. I am not sure that everybody, the generation on the by so will go to what we are going through. So let us chart a new path. Use your voice wherever you are. And make sure, say, you become an active participant in this advocacy. Now you're making sure, say, we change this nasty political culture. Prioritizing the interest of few misguided, twisted minds. I said, when we capture political power, they think they are better than everybody, no? Now you're making sure, say, we can turn the tables around. We should have the courage. Even in our own party, you see, Mekacha said the solution, yes, why solution is we being courageous and be ready to question decisions even made by our own party. Because that is all that democracy is about. Because when we create this environment of comfort where people think, say, your party there, you're taking that decision, I will support you. And they did that stupid culture, no ban. And the Diababidru. But it's a politician to know who's taking decision on one case the party for crab sorority and they will think twice. Because I have seen your friends saying this duopoly, the same duopoly exists in the United States of America, the same duopoly is in the UK. The same two giant political parties. But you cannot take the people for granted because the people are highly reasonable. So it's a problem now you want to say because two political parties. No, that is because but you see, certain people are so weak in minds and they want to run away from the problem. Because you can't run away from the cowards or run away from the problem. But the bold, the brave ones will confront the problem. And the problem, they say, it's not just about running away from the parties. It is about how we can bring reform, influence it, and get them to do the right thing. You cannot change. You can't change them just so easily like that. But how do we work around it in such a way say people will do the right thing? That is also another part of the solution. That is also part of the solution. And I think we will definitely get there. It's getting late. I think it's almost 10 o'clock. The person may take more time because time now me share say me no. There was light off. Light doom light was say enti eteki time no bebre. Eteki time no bebre. But I think we've been able to do something. And said that I'm culture no I'll be coming out with the show me working around it. The platform where we will engage, have discussion. And you say at the time and I think from 7 o'clock, from 8 o'clock going but and we So say a see I think say man now so say from time to time, and I will do it in such a way say more share so get opportunity to engage, interact. Obi wa adwenkyerɛ say nyansa ne ba ko 14 and you know I'll make it in such a way say wa wo share no so no obenya opportunity to make your contribution. Say ba ya ye nyina no ye betimi I build this thing together, because I always say I am because we are, and we are in this together collectively. No, this is not a thing that one person beat me. Collectively we can do it. Our job is to inform, educate, throw out information, and empower people to develop this attitude of analyzing and make informed decisions and choices out of that. Choices are a bear. Choices are our impact on one case in the future and in the future of others. So you will not be thinking about just yourself. Or because one Ghana city, 500 Ghana cities is there. No, it should click to the top of your mind awareness. Say about one mekotono enye me nko but me future can me future can me ba me be future can. So when you are guided by this relevant information, you will be guided to make wise decisions. You will not be motivated by the fact that you share the same tribe with somebody, because you share the same church with somebody, religious kind of attachment be, would be the same tribal. Come on, that's silly considerations, you know. And not properly they be draw. And people sitting somewhere feeling comfortable, they think that the people on the ground, no, omunimyansa. I told the idea. What is na pose MPP Kumasi de omuhia na t-shirt. This is a party. Vote now when you do not from Ashanti region. You need to respect the people and make sure so you develop the area. Go there and ask them. Adia Kumasi omotimia benefited because omunim say omuye omayomba to ama enti wenim de oja. So for how long are they going to do as jamo? It means you don't value yourself. What belittle and the person will belittle you. Or if you don't add value to yourself, nobody will value you. That is the most important. That's the basic principle. So to add value, it means vote, you know, but making sure say you do a lot of soul searching, you do a lot of analysis, you do a lot of review, you do a lot of your friends saying comparative analysis. Individuals, you know, you check their capacity, their willingness to do good, their track record, and what they can do and what they will do, the policies they have to offer. These are some of the considerations that we need to do before we give out our vote. Thank you very much for your time. It's 10 o'clock. Like I said, we'll be having a lot more of this interaction, so don't worry. This is just the beginning. I'm just trying to put few things together. Once I'm done, we will be engaging more. Thank you very much for your time, and have a beautiful, a nice week. I am Monday, and people will be going to work, so I don't want to take much of your time. Thank you very much for being here with us. Thank you.